I built a compost bin with not only one or two, but 3 compartments. The compost bin has removable slats. The bins have mesh all around it for best airflow and lids to keep out critters. What do you think? Let's start composting. You want one too? Follow me and lass uns anfangen.
There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
Like most of my project, this one started with a trip to the lumber store. I purchased a bunch of 2x4s, 2 2x8s, and 12 fence picket boards. You will also need some hardware cloth. I ordered mine from Amazon since I found it for a better price and color. First, I cut the lumber to size. I used my miter saw for this. One of the perks of having an outdoor workshop is that I don't need to hook up dust extraction. However, when the wind turns, I have to brush the dust off me. Another thing while working outside, I always get sidetracked by nature. What kind of mating call was that? Alright, let's get back to the build. Much more to do. Sometimes I have like a squirrel brain. I get distracted so easy. These are the pieces that I cut to build the structure of the compost bins. Before I started to assemble the pieces, I gave them a quick sand. And like always, let's have fun with it. Next up, I started to assemble the pieces. Essentially, you will need 4 squares or rectangles, depending on the dimensions you choose. Over the squares, I attached the hardware clothes using staples. Use shears to cut the hardware cloth. This shears I'm using actually came for free with the order of the hardware cloth. They're not great, but they do the job. I pulled a little bit on the hardware cloth as I attached it to not have any slack in the middle. And the first piece is done. Now I only need 3 more of the same. So I moved it over to the side and kept going. Once I had all 4 pieces built, I laid down 2 2x4x10 studs. Since I have sandy soil, I laid those on a level cinder block to keep them level for years coming. I also covered the studs in linseed oil. Then I used screws to attach the 2 outer pieces. Once I had the 2 outer pieces attached, I spaced out the 2 pieces in the middle to get 3 equal sized bins. Then attach those as well, using screws. Once I had all the pieces attached to the bottom studs, I laid 1 more stud across the top to tie it all together. Again, I used screws to do that. And now to the fun part. I needed to get hardware cloth attached to the back so the critters cannot go inside the bins, but I keep good airflow for the compost. so I had to flip over the whole structure to make it simple to attach the cloth. Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. I hope it will be just as easy to flip it back into position. Here the hardest part was really to keep the cloth lined up square with the frame, so make sure it's all lined up before you attach it with the staples. Once all was attached, I flipped the structure back to its position. Let's warm up with some stretching first. I feel like the Incredible Hulk, or like some people would say, more like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper! Ow! Alright, back to the build. I did a little light adjustment to make sure the compost bin sits perfectly on the cinder blocks before I attach the rest of the pieces. The next step was to build grooves for the removable slats to sit in. Therefore, I attached a piece of 2x8 to the front of the bin, and then attached a piece of lumber behind it with a small gap, just big enough to accommodate the slat. I drilled the screws in from the back side to hide them and give the compost bin a clean appearance from the front. Here's a better angle on the little gap I was talking about to accommodate the slats. I would say passt wie angegossen, or fits like a glove. To keep critters out on the top, I built individual lids. Just like the frames for the sides, I built a rectangular shape out of lumber and then added hardware cloth on top of that. With the slats in the front and the lid on the top, no critters can get in. I noticed I forgot to buy the hinges, so I will attach them after I apply the oil. To protect the compost bin from the elements, I applied linseed oil. Once I had the hinges ready, I attached 2 on each lid, using the provided screws. And we are fertig! I don't know about you, but I'm already in love with my new 3-compartment compost bin. It will create lots of fertile compost for my garden and therefore help me on my journey to become more self-sufficient. If you like my videos, please like, comment and subscribe if you have not done so. Also, if you can, please join my Patreon for additional content. This helps me create more videos for YouTube. It's like getting me 1 coffee a month. I'd really appreciate the support. See you next time. Tschüss!